I'm gonna have to play that again because, yeah, well, uh, yeah, because I, the patron lead-in. Hey guys, it's Nate. Um, Obviously, I'm getting ready to do a bite-sized. This one is going to be one take, I swear, because all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna talk about um our Fantasy Critic League standings, and uh, it if you're in the league, it comes to no surprise as to who the winner is, and if you're not interested, well then I guess don't listen to this bite sized, but still might, because maybe I'll say something funny and clever. Um, yeah, so who knows? Or maybe you just find me to be repugnant and you're really here for Josh, and that's fine. That's fine too. I mean, I get that. I mean, look at me. I'm a sloppy mess right now. I need a haircut so so badly. I was thinking about growing my hair out, right? And I was seriously considering it. And it's like we've gone on probably like a couple months without a significant cut. And I just hit a point where it's like even at this point in time, my hair is too much work for me to try and grow it out. So I got to get a haircut. Yeah, but I'm drinking smart water, not because it makes me smart, but because it is the smart thing to do because it has electrolytes and minerals. But or I don't know, something like that. It's got something in it that's much gooder for you than normal water, apparently, but no sugars. That's fine. Um, Also, update on Ghost energy drinks. One, I've had a few more since Josh and I recorded the other week. The Warheads sour green apple is delightful. It is delightful. I like a good like sour apple, green apple kind of candy, or Jones. There was a soda company called Jones Soda Company that used to make a green apple. It's like that, and it's very very good. So if you like sour green apple soda or candy or whatever, or just that flavor, and you're not adverse, like you're not opposed to energy drinks, um, it's just delightful. It's not. I still think the orange cream might be my favorite right now. Um, and I haven't had tons and tons of flavors, but so far those two are sort of the front runners. There's also I did have a pink lemonade that was pretty good. Um, yeah, I think I'm going to have to like order a case or two just to keep them in the house because it's probably cheaper to do it that way anyways than go to the store and buy them and then yeah. The only problem is if I have them in the house, then I will be tempted to drink them more often. So at that point, and I really do want to just like, and I'm not like, hey, don't drink energy drinks, but it's like probably shouldn't be every day. Um, so yeah, just throwing that out there. But let me get some water. I'm gonna do the thing again, and we're gonna get right into the bite sized. And yeah, but all right, yeah. Hey guys, it's Nate, and it's time for another bite sized. Okay, so this is going to be one take because this isn't like a free association. This isn't me trying to explore a thought and doing it poorly and having to redo the whole thing. All I'm going to do is talk about the final standings for our fantasy critic league in the breakdown Discord, the league of mediocre potato chaps. I'm gonna talk through some rosters, just and yeah, it's so buckle up. I don't know if I'm gonna say anything clever or not, because it's well, monologuing is hard. It is also apparently dangerous if you're a super villain. And if you get that reference, you're probably a much cooler person than most of the people you know. But let's this year, just to sort of do a bit of a recap, we Josh and I both participated. We were joined by Spike, Wesley Ray, the henchman dad himself, Alex Castellanos, Nicholas Nick Nick Nicholas Porcho himself, the wonder from down under, Sojourner, Amazed by Grace 86, and uh, longtime friend of the show, Micah Gear Solid. So Josh, his publisher name, his Fantasy Critic team name, so to speak, was Critical Hits. Spikes was Spike Share and Subscribe Games. Henshin Dad Wesley Ray was Trashier Taste. Um, Alex was Jersey Rican Global LLC. I like it. I like it. I like all of these so far. Each one of those, like some of those are very like inside jokey. Um, so Porchos is Games to Die For, but it's all together, and it's games to Porcho. Now that I'm looking at it, you should have had a Z after games. That would have made it so much cooler. But games, the number 2, and then the word die, and then 4. I was beat down gaming, but I did like the leet speak kind of thing. Um, Sojourner was I used to be a publisher like you, then I took a Lord of the Ring Golem to the knee. Amazed by Grace, our buddy Gracious Josh there was the Dirty Diaper Dandies, and Micah Gear was Doug's Vest Digital. So now, and here's the thing: not all of the games at this point in time. There's still like some pending releases. There's actually 2 for this year. Monument Valley 3 and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Rita's Rewind had a release date scheduled for today. I'm recording on the 10th, so like the night before this is supposed to go live. So yes, but um, but we haven't gotten any scores for them, and frankly, um, I'm gonna say it's like it was not really a close race this year, and Wes had both of those, and I don't think either one of those. I don't think both of them, let alone either one of them, is going to be a massive enough sort of surprise to afford us any major upsets. Um, so let's just start. We're going to start at the bottom, and unfortunately, my friend and my co-host, Joshua Broccolo, just a beautiful man. Uh, well, he did not do well this season. He had 8 release games, and he's still expecting 1. And to be fair to like, and this is a little bit of chastisement on my own, for myself as well. Like we gotta you gotta use the fantasy critic bucks, and you gotta like be picking up games, guys. Now, um, yes, but we're all yeah. Anyways, so there were some empty slots, but we're gonna let's look at Josh's roster here. So let me scroll down. We've got here we go. And it looks like Josh was at the turn. So it looks like he was the last to draft in the first round. And so he drafted the Plucky Squire, Aiden Chronicle, 100 Heroes, Penny's Big Breakaway, Rift of the Necro Dancer, No Rest for the Wicked, Nine Souls, Alone in the Dark, Nintendo World Championship NES Edition, Thrasher, and then as his flex pick, because we did that where you could just like, because there's the whole fantasy critic, you can only draft certain things, but we said anything goes. And so Josh, for his flex pick, drafted Silent Hill 2 remake. So let's just sort of go through the scores here. Plucky Squire did all right for him. That was an 82 on Open Critic, and it got him 12 points. Aiden Chronicle 100 Heroes was a 76. That got him 6 points. Penny's Big Breakaway was a 77. Got him 7 points. Rift of the Necrodancer did not release, and so that got him nothing. No Rest for the Wicked is still in early access, and so it can't be scored, but it does have a 73, but that got him nothing. Nine Souls did pretty well for him, and that looks like it was probably his best scoring game on here. That's 85 for 15. Now, he did take a little bit of a gig here. Alone in the Dark, he picked that, and it came out to a 64, which gets him a -6. The next two, Nintendo World Championships NES Edition, got a 71, so 1 point, and Thrasher a 77 for 7 points. So, and then Silent Hill 2, actually Silent Hill 2 remake was technically his best scoring game. I had to did have to manually enter that because like Fantasy Critic didn't automatically enter those points in, but um, that did net him 17 points at an 87. So all of that, and he did all right. It did he had two no scores. He had three or four, like, you look at the three or four where he's like not really scoring much, like one, a 6, 7 points, 7 points. And Alone in the Dark is not a -6 isn't insurmountable, but like frankly, like when it's pretty much just completely wiping out like another low scoring game. So he's effectively got like, you know, three, four slots where, yeah, he just didn't score on anything. So, but he did have a full lineup and just kind of didn't um, didn't really hit on much. And his counter pick, he just counter picked. Somebody had picked Mario Kart, the unannounced next mainline console game, and he counterpicked that, and that did not come out, so he didn't lose points and he didn't gain points. Okay, so let's sort of scroll back up to the top. Okay, eighth place is Spike, Share, and Subscribe. And let's just sort of roll back on down here. All right. Um, so Spike, the other Nate, he drafted, or he on his roster, he had Hollow Knight Silk Song, Hades 2, Path of Exile 2, Star Wars Outlaws, Warhammer 40K, Space Marine 2, Animal Well, The Rise of the Golden Idol, and for his flex pick, he had Metal Gear Solid, Delta, Snake Eater, and his counter pick was Skull and Bones. Now, couple things here. He did have two empty slots, so that didn't help his score any. He probably would have done a good bit better, just because, like, and you know what? Frankly, and this is something that we'll have to talk to the group about, is the way that scoring early access works. Um, in Fantasy Critic, is if the game doesn't go into 1.0 release, like full release, it doesn't score. But Hades, just looking at that, was a 90, and that would have bumped his score up significantly. But he, in spite of that, he did okay. Um, so let's just talk about that. So Hollow Knight did not release, no points. Hades was early access and didn't release into the 1.0, no points. Path of Exile 2, no points. Star Wars Outlaws was a 75 and got him 5. Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2 was an 81 for 11 points. Animal Well was an 89 for 19. Rise of the Golden Idol was an 85 for 15. And then the counter pick for Skull and Bones got him another 10. So he ended up just kind of edging out Josh for eighth place, just like by a point, pretty much. And again, he probably would have done significantly better if he would have drafted a couple more things and maybe dropped some games or something like that. Um, but yeah, it's he was definitely held back by, essentially he's got six no scoring game, like no scores. So for not having you know, a full roster, he did okay. But he could have definitely done better. I do look at that one too, and it's like he has a few on there that I think are, Hades 2, I am very excited about. I was actually just kind of eyeballing it in the Steam store, and I was like, do I want to just pull the trigger on this now so that next year when this thing goes into 1.0, I don't have to worry about it? But whatever. I'll probably just buy it at the beginning of next year with like Christmas money or something, and or yeah, whatever. I don't care. Like it's Hades. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna love it. So whatever. I am waiting for the 1.0, just because So, but that was it. That would have, like, again, if that was scored, they would have done well. Star Wars Outlaws is middling, 5 points at 75 with 5 points. It's nothing to sneeze at. But Warhammer 40K, that's it. That's 81. That's really respectable. Animal Well, really good pick there. Rise of the Golden Idol, again, a really good pick. And because he did counterpick Skull and Bones, he gets that 10 points. It's like he had some really great picks, just really didn't um he just didn't didn't do much with them uh beyond that. So let's see. Okay. In seventh place, we've got Wesley Ray, the Henching Dad himself, with Trashier Taste, and he um he had some. There's a real big, a couple real big highs and some real big lows here. Um, his draft list was Metaphor Refantasio, Princess Peach Showtime, Monument Valley 3, Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero, South Park Snow Day, Sandland, Saga Emerald Beyond, Little Kitty Big City, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Rita's Rewind. For his flex pick, he picked the Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake, and his counter pick was Ayuden Chronicle 100 Heroes. And he didn't do too poorly. He had one negative game and one no score, and his counter he lost some points on his counter pick. But other than that, he had fairly respectable scores for most of his game, with again a couple really outstanding. So Metaphor Refantasio, 92 on Open Critic, that netted him 25 points. So that was huge, huge. But then his score was sort of dragged down by Princess Peach Showtime, which 75, not losing points, but again, not really doing well. Monument Valley hasn't scored so far. Um, but again, I don't see that doing, at best, I see that getting him maybe like 10 points. Uh, he did Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero. And again, a really good pick here. Again, at 82, getting him 12 points. South Park Snow Day came in at a 60, and so that whacked him for 10 points. Then Sandland, 74. So 4 points, not bad, not bad. Saga Emerald Beyond, 75, 5 points. Again, not bad. Little Kitty Big City, 77 with 7 points. Oh, those are okay. They're better than losing points, but really you aren't making any big strides on the board. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Rita's Rewind got a 78, so 8 points. Again, it's fine, but it's not great. Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake got an 85, and so that netted him 15 points. So he did pretty good. He only and then his counterpick Ayuden Chronicle 100 Heroes, it scored to 76, so he lost 6 points. So not terrible. He lost 16 points, but with his games drafted, but he didn't really, outside of Ayuden and really Dragon Quest 3, he didn't, and well, I guess you can say Dragon Ball Z as well. Like he didn't really have too many strong games, even if those games were good, but like interesting. So he did all right, and he's got, probably looking at his list, Metaphor and Dragon Quest 3. I actually picked up both of those this year. I'm interested in playing Sandland. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna scroll back, just sort of go real quick, just through. I'm gonna do this for Josh's list too. But yeah, Wes had a few that I really like there. So there's a couple notables. Actually, well, no, it's better to do this. A couple notables for Josh's. Going back to Josh Broccolo's list real quick here. Um, No Rest for the Wicked. I'm interested in that. I've heard some really good things. It does look like it's kind of like seven-ish territory, so we'll see. Um, we will see. Nine Souls, I've heard really great things about that. I am kind of do want to check that out at some point in time. Ayuden Chronicle 100 Heroes. I kickstarted that, so I have a copy of it. I'm definitely want to look into that at some point in time as well. There's a possibility I think we might be doing that next year, or this coming year. looking at Spike's roster, Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2 is an obvious like hit for me. Animal Well, I'm kind of curious about, and Hades. And of course, if Hollow Knight Silksong ever does come out, I will jump on that immediately. Like that's a day one, like gimme. Um, Also, the Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. Yeah, I'm very interested in sort of how that works out as well. So they've got that so far. Coming in at sixth, and this is I have to be honest, is like this is kind of surprising. Alex Castellanos has I've been, doing fantasy critic leagues with him for a few years. And for the first 2 or 3 years that I was doing these, he dominated. I mean, just crushed the one league. Just it was like, and he, the only thing that made it bearable is that Alex is a total sweetie. So, but he did not have such a great season. I think he took like a few more like sort of swings. I think part of his success is that he's typically been pretty conservative, but he took a few swings, and there were, frankly, looking at his list, a few misses, like things that looking at just me looking at his list, I'm like, I would have expected these to do a little bit better than they did. Let me take a drink of water, and we'll get into this. Mm. Only the finest radio for you. I splashed some of that water. All right. So, looking at his Alex's roster, he started out really strong. He drafted Tekken 8, and that got him a 90 with 20 points. So that's really, really strong game. And he started out pretty strong. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, which in theory we thought was going to be kind of a banger, because I think the last flight simulator that came out like 2 or 3 years ago, or I don't know. I don't pay attention to flight simulator, but the last flight simulator that came out from Microsoft did really, really well. And this kind of came out to pretty middling reviews. It got a 75 for only 5 points. Rise of the Ronin, again, like I think this is one that frankly I expected to score a little higher, but it kind of landed in 77 territory. I didn't expect it to go too much higher than that, but and so we've got that. This one is kind of like one of those is Under Night in Birth 2 Cis Celeste. And this is like one of the things is Alex is really good. Like if you're ever in a league with him, he's really good at finding stuff that you have no idea what that is and where it came from. But this one actually did really well for him. 81, getting him 11 points. Frostpunk 2. Again, this is really respectable, 85 for 15 points. So, these are like those. He's got three really strong titles in the game. Ara History Untold came out at a 74, only got him 4. Life is Strange Double Exposure, like, was a 71, got him 1 point. And this is like one of those things where, like, those are fine because you're not losing points, but neither one of those are great scores. Here's where he really got bit. Sky Ocean's Wings for Hire. He picked that up, and it scored a 46 on Open Critic. That is a negative 16 points, and so that just demolished his score. And it's I cannot I don't think he anticipated it doing that poorly, but and so that really just kind of like dragged him down. uh and then he had Mario and Luigi Brothership. Again, it scored fine. It's a 77, got him 7 points, but it's nothing major. And then his flex pick was Final Fantasy 14 Dawn Trail with an 81 for 11 points. So outside of like honestly, outside of that, he would have done much, much better. That's six. If you add 16 points, at what puts him at 82, which would have put him, let's just sort of kind of looking here, that would have put him in contention for like the, fourth place, is somewhere in the fourth or, somewhere around fourth place. It's just that one sort of misstep. His counter pick was Dragon Quest 12, The Flames of Fate. It didn't come out, so no points taken, but also no points earned. Yeah, I know that you know. Again, he's not a champ. Oh, actually, he took the Brotato chaps last year. So the champ, coming in and just sort of like maybe he's a little tired, a little fatigued. You know, who knows? But Alex, you know, well, what happened to only picking eights, my guy? You know, just saying. Just saying. All right, moving along here. Sitting at fifth, right in the middle of the pack is Porcho, the wonder from down under. Now, what's really interesting about Porcho and his whole thing is I think all he did was draft games that released in February. He'll have to like correct me if I'm wrong there. But for that strategy didn't do too poorly for him. He actually did all right. He did have a couple misses, and let's talk about that. Give me 1 second. All right. So let's kind of go down Porcho's list here. Grand Blue Fantasy Relink at number one, 81 points, 81 on on Open Critic, 11 points. Ultros 79 for 9 points. Skull and Bones 60 for a -10. The Thaumaturge 76 for 6 points. Pacific Drive 80 for 10 points. Open Roads 70, so no points. Arzette, the Jewel of Faramore 76 for 6 points. Shiren the Wanderer, the Mystery Dungeon of Serpent Coil Island, 84 for 14 points. Falvadek did not, looks like it didn't release. Or maybe, what's it say? I'm pretty sure that's oh, it needs more reviews. So it didn't have enough reviews to score. His flex pick was Persona 3 Reload, which was an 88, got him 18 points. And he counterpicked South Park Snow Day for and that scored a 60. So he gained 10. All in all, a fairly strong roster here. He had a couple of missteps and a couple of no scores. But what is just bizarre, and again, he just filled his roster up with almost immediately after the draft with games that released in February. And it did okay. It didn't get him in last. It got him in. Well, he's pretty much dead in the middle. But just sort of looking at that, and I forgot to do this for Alex's too. Man, I'm the worst. Let's dip back to Alex's Tekken 8. The standouts from Alex's Tekken 8. I bought it, love the crap out of it. It's pretty great. I'm pretty curious about Mario and Luigi Brothership. I was talking to my buddy Parker, and he said like it's not an amazing game. He said, but it is delightful. Um, honestly, that's the like I'm kind of curious about Rise of the Ronin, but that feels like a budget kind of game for me too. Just sort of look like I that's like something that I will pick up for like 10, 15, maybe $20, maybe. Um, looking at Porcho's roster, just as far as like stuff that I'm potentially interested in, Ultros. It's a really kind of like visually striking Metroidvania. I've heard some really good things about it. The Thaumaturge is like one of those things that I'm just kind of curious as to what it is and what it's about. Pacific Drive, if I'm remembering, that's like the survival game where like you basically drive like a magic car through like spooky woods and stuff, and that I that kind of looks interesting to me. Persona 3 Reload was frankly 2024's game of the year for me, just as far as like what I played. Um, so yeah, again, that's a very that's a super okay roster. Um, Good job, Porcho, for being right in the middle, not too high, not too low. Next, it's me. I've got to sort of take myself to task here. So let's pull up my roster and take a look. And I am one of the ones that I had some empty spots. And yeah. So let's talk about my roster. And I probably could have done better if I would have drafted some more games, but well, kind of life found a way to, well, throw me yeah, to goof me. So, all right, I opened up with Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, and that did very well for me. That was a 90 on Open Critic, got me 20 points. I also got Unicorn Overlord, so 88 for 18 points. I got Helldivers 2, 83 for 13 points. And this is where I kind of got a little bit. I drafted Foam Stars, which got a 60 and it cost me 10 points. I also got Stellar Blade, which got an 82 for 12 points. I also, in that time, I picked up Banisher's Ghost of New Eden, getting me 10 points. I also got The Last of Us Part 2 remaster as my flex pick, and that got me 90 point or 90. It scored 90 with 20 points. And I counterpicked Hades because I was like, it's not going 1.0. And so I took no loss. And I got 82 points. Now, and again, I'm looking at my roster and I have 3 empties. And if I would have, let's just say, like, almost everything I drafted was at least 10 points. Like, and so let's just say, just super optimistic here, I would have drafted 3 games that would have gotten me 45 points. That would have put me uh, in a very strong second. So my laziness cost, and now it actually probably would have been putting me a lot closer to Micah than not. So I'm just saying, I got lazy, and that's what really won. That's, well, spoilers. Well, but that's Micah's in first. I was saving that for the end, but whatever. He won, the stupid jerkwad. But we'll get there. Micah's a sweetie. I gem of a human being. Love that dude. But yeah, and obviously, like, there's a whole pile of stuff on my roster that I really don't care about, like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. Unicorn Overlord I bought. Helldivers 2 I played this year, and I really had a good time with it. Foam Stars, that was no go. Stellar Blade is kind of like one of those things I'm mildly interested in. I gotta be honest, like, the 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 emphasis on fan service, the fan servicey nature of the game, it just doesn't appeal to me. Banishers, I am also interested in that. That looks kind of like um, this sort of different. And then, like, everything on my list is actually, for the most part, stuff that I'm pretty interested in, or you know. But yeah, so I got lazy, and that's what lost. That's it was mine to lose. Even with a negative 10, I had done remarkably well. Not so much in the other league, but in this league, I did all right. Moving into third, it's Sojourner with I used to be a publisher like you, then took an Lord of the Ring Gollum to the knee. And yes, that's how I will say it every time, because that's how they said it was. So let's take a look at Isaac's list here, and overall, pretty good one. No negatives at all, but he opened up with Black Myth Wukong, that was an 82, getting him 12 points. Visions of Mana out of 77, getting him 7. Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl, 74 for 4 points. Zenless Zone Zero, 76 for 6 points. Call of Duty Black Ops 6, 83 for 13 points. Got to be honest, that one's probably one of the biggest surprises for me. I didn't think it was going to do poorly, but that's frankly a little higher than I thought. COD would score. Prison Architect 2, no score. Excuse me. Towerborn, no score. Neva, 87 for 17 points. Another Crab's Treasure, 78 for 8 points. His flex pick was Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door remake, an 89 for 19 points. And then his counter pick was Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League, and it scored a 59, getting him 11 points. So he came in strong with 96 total points. Just sort of looking through here, Black Myth Wukong is like, I'm mildly interested in it. It's like, it seems like, again, like, I think the fact that it's in the Game Award conversation is weird to me, but also kind of piques my curiosity a little bit. Visions of Mana is a budget game that I probably might check out someday, but I'm in absolutely no hurries. Stalker 2, I don't know much about the Stalker franchise, but who's Zenless Zone? But yeah, Zenless Zone Zero. Yeah, that's just a complete non-starter for me. So Call of Duty Black Ops 6. I'm trying to get through the Modern Warfare remaster. Um, and I just like COD is not sticking with me. So yeah. Prison Architect 2, I've got no idea about that. It doesn't have a score. So Towerborn, I think that's Towerborn's the one from Stoic. I am looking forward to that. Quite a bit actually. Neva. I don't know anything about that. Another Crab's Treasure. It's Dark Souls with crabs, and there's something like kind of winsome and delightful about that I am kind of like interested in. Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door remake. Maybe someday, but I'm in no hurries for that either. Let's keep going here. We've got a couple more to get through. So first year drafting with us, the gracious Josh really came out swinging here with the Dirty Diaper Dandies development team. He started off with Final Fantasy. He was first in the draft order, so that first pick is it's pretty choice territory, and he snagged just an absolute behemoth. You got Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which it scored a 93 on Open Critic, getting him 25 points. Homeworld 3 next for 77. For 77, getting him 7 points. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, 87 for 17 points. World of Goo 2, 82 for 12 points. Headquarters World War II, 83 for 13. Synergy was a no score. Expeditions, a Mud Runner game, 79 for 9 points. Dragon Age: The Veilguard got an 80, got him 10 points. SteamWorld Heist 2, 82 for 12 points. His flex pick was F124 for a 77, getting him 7 points, and he counterpicked Star Wars Outlaws, and that's the only real ding at all. Like he took besides the no score for Synergy, he took a little bit of a loss there. He ended up at 107 points, and just this is a really tight roster. There's some unknowns in there, and who knows if Synergy had released, he might have given Micah like, I don't know anything about Synergy, but he might have given Micah a lot more, a little reason to sweat per se. Uh, to me, looking at this, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is obviously like that's just like a home run. Um, I think that's no surprise. Definitely, sort of, at some point in time, I'll probably check that out. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. Josh and I, we talk about that in in an upcoming episode, and that's a game that is kind of on my low key radar. I'm paying attention to it. But then Dragon Age Veilguard, just sort of looking at this, some of this, a lot of this stuff is, I've got no idea. Expeditions, a Mud Runner game. I am aware of those games, and I think that the concept is very interesting. I have no idea how that would actually translate for me. Dragon Age the Veilguard, it's, yeah, a lot has already been said about that, but it scored pretty well for him. I am curious about it. I kind of want to play it just to see if it closes the loop for any of the Dragon Age stuff for me. But someday, not in a hurry. SteamWorld Heist 2 is also, it's a pretty interesting pick. I like the SteamWorld games. I played a few of them. So yeah. Okay. And I spoiled it already, but the winner of the winner of the 2024 mediocre League of Mediocre Potato Chaps is for all intents and purposes, unless something just insane happens at the end of the year. Um, Micah just, and it's not even close. Like, so Josh, Gracious Josh was in second at 107 points. Micah is sitting at 150 points. He just embarrassed, just completely demolished the rest of us. And so let's look at his roster right now. He started off with Dragon's Dogma 2 at an 87, getting him 17 points. He picked up The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom at an 85, getting him 15 points. Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, 81, 11 points. Super Mario Party Jamboree, 81, 11 points. He got Mina the Hollower, but it hasn't released, so it's a no score. Um, EA Sports College Football 25, 81 for 11 points. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, 86 for 16 points. Astrobot, 95 for 29 points. Lego Horizon Adventures, 71 for 1 point. His flex pick was Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree, 94 for 28 points. And he counterpicked Foam Stars. Like, outside of Mina not releasing and Lego Horizon Adventures scoring a little, there isn't a miss on here. He just decimated us. Obviously, Astrobot is definitely like on my list of things to get around to. Dragon's Dogma 2, I'm very curious about. I want to check out Senua. I actually watched Senua Saga when I went to visit Parker a few months back. We played around with it, and it's a very technically impressive looking game, um, or tech demo. Because I'm not sure that I'm not sure that I'd really call it a game. What I saw, and obviously Indiana Jones is looking pretty interesting. Uh, Ooh. I am fading fast here. So, um, it is sort of like, yeah, just absolute killer roster. Lots of really interesting games this year to sort of like pop up on the radar. Not too many big surprises. One of the things is nobody drafted Balatro in our league, which that was a bit of a major upset. Um, but yeah, so sort of going again from the bottom to the top. Broccolo, Josh had 59 points at ninth place. Spike got 60 at eighth. Uh, Wesley Ray, the Henshin Dad himself, seventh place with 65. Big Chill, yeah, Big Chill got himself a 66, got sixth with 66.06 points. That's Alex, might want to get that checked out, man. I'm just saying. Like that's a lot of really unfortunate numbers. I think you might have dodged a bullet, but um Porcho in fifth with 73 points. I showed up in fourth, just at 82, which is fine. Blah. Anyways, uh, Sojourner came in at third with 96. Gracious Josh 107 and second, and Micah again at the 151 mark. Just 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 crushing everybody. And there are a couple things here. Just as sort of, you know, going into next year. Josh had a lot of his budget left. Spike had a lot of his budget left. Um, Porcho had a lot of his budget left. I had 60. I had a substantial amount. Sojourner almost had killed his, and uh, Gracious Josh, also had some left in the, to draft to pick up new games. So, you know, maybe if we had used that, we could have been a little more threatening. But yeah. Anyways, that is it. So, Micah, I declare, as much as I can, until the year is actually finished. And again, I don't foresee anything crazy really happening, but I declare you to be the winner of 2024's uh, Fantasy Critic, the League of Mediocre Potato Chips. You are the mediocrest dude. Um, the mediocrest brochacho, whatever. Yeah, I'm tired, folks. Hopefully you like this, and if you didn't, well, we'll try again next time. Until then, be good, do the things, and I will talk to you or talk at you later. Wrong one. Also wrong one. Right one. Later.